I broke down and cried. I was an emotional mess over there.
I'm sick. I am happy. I wanted to cry. It's unbelievable.
They were so excited that a St. Louisan told Cub fans that they're going to the World Series the first time since 1945. And Ryan Burrow, you cannot be objective while covering this story. Good morning from ABC News.
As long as it's out there, yes, born and raised in the suburbs of Chicago, grew up a Cubs fan. I haven't seen it get to this point. My grandparents haven't seen it. Well, I take that back. Grandparents have seen it get to this point, 1945, the last time the Cubs were in the World Series. But there has not been a World Series winner on the north side of Chicago since 1908, and now everyone's playing games with numbers. You've heard all the numerology that's going on. 108 stitches on a baseball. The last two Cubs to make the Hall of Fame, Ron Santo, number 10, Andre Dawson, 8. The Wrigley Field got the 108th building permit in the city of Chicago. So everyone is kind of playing into all these numbers here and wondered if maybe there's some special magic in the air going on this year.
Boy, with all that numerology going on, that just leads for a bigger heartbreak once the Indians win in 4.
We've already given Steve Bartman his ticket to Cuba. He'll be spending the next week and a half there. I don't think he'll be allowed anywhere near Wrigley Field, although there have been talks that now since they've broken through the glass ceiling of the NLCS, as you could put it, I guess, that maybe it is time to bring him back and make amends. But I have a feeling that probably won't happen until after a World Series, if there is indeed a victory.
So, Ryan, take us through what's the feeling? What's going on in Chicago?
It was a lot of excitement. Joy, you heard in those clips there that some of those people were there at Wrigley Field, and it was interesting. We tend to get a lot of people who think that the Cubs fans are just a bunch of 20-somethings who like to party and get drunk. Those people were paying big bucks for those seats, and everyone stuck around. There were no fights. There was no over drunkenness at the game. Everyone was just trying to take it all in, and they really enjoyed themselves. There were only 6 arrests in Wrigleyville that night, which on any given Saturday night is probably about even. So it didn't get out of control. People just had fun. They waved their W flags and got out of there. Now a little bit more nervousness setting in. It's nice to get through the NLCS, but the World Series is a completely different beast. And, on paper it looks like the Cubs have a legitimate shot, but, let's face it, the Cleveland Indians have steamrolled the American League up to this point, and, I don't think anyone here feels confident or overconfident or cocky that the Cubs have a shot to win this thing in 7.
So I'm on StubHub looking at tickets. I'm seeing prices as high as $30,000 for a ticket. Now, are people
remember that is offered prices?
Right.
I'm going to throw this out there and see what I can get. But,
right. Yeah. So, have you heard anybody paying $30,000 for a ticket?
Well, it sounds like at last check, at least here in Chicago, it sounded like standing room only were ranging about $2,000. This is to not even sit. This is to basically stand along the rails. I could honestly see people paying that. Just because it is such a historic moment. I don't know about the $30,000. I'm sure there's some people on the north shore of Chicago who have some disposable income that would like to do that. In Cleveland, I was seeing $1,300 to get in the door. So, I don't know. We'll see.
So would you want them to win in 4 games, or would you want them to win in 6 games? Do you want a little drama? What are you looking for?
Oh no, I want no drama. If it were up to me, this thing would be done in 4 Cubs victory. But games 1 and 2 in Cleveland, 3, 4, 5 are in Chicago, and then they'd have to go back to Cleveland for 6 and 7. So if they want a Chicago celebration, they got to wrap this thing up in 5. If they want to party in the streets, although I think there will be a party either way. And sometimes it is cool to win on the road because then, the plane comes back and people are waiting at the airport. But, who am I to judge? I'll take one either way.
Just remember that Todd Manley was a Cardinal fan when he was down here in St. Louis.
Oh, really?
Yes.
All right, yes. I'll have to give him some ribbing on that one.
Yes, yeah, and you can tell him I said that, too, on the Big 550 KTRS. Ryan, be good, be safe, have a good series, and we'll check in with you all this week on the latest up there.
All right, sounds good.
You got it. Ryan Burrow, ABC News correspondent from Chicago, and you could see, you know what, we've had so much fun here in St. Louis with baseball and Cardinals. Well, I don't know why people are begrudging Cubs fans from having that same sort of joy, especially generational and fathers and sons and mothers and brothers and sisters. It's just a great story. 7:25 here at Big 550 KTRS. We'll do numbers. We'll go inside the numbers. That's next on the Big 550 KTRS. How's this?